this upcoming weekend. It's Wednesday, so it's hard to think about the weekend, but college basketball starting off with Wisconsin versus Villanova. I think Wisconsin is maybe our one of our least favorite teams on this pod. After
Man,
last week, they lost by 30.
ban list. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, they are. They are on the ban list.
Well, at least you guys picked BYU. I picked them twice on here and lost by an average of what, 30?
Yeah, yeah. Like what was it? Like 65 combined points or something crazy.
Yeah.
They look terrible. I don't know what it is. I really don't. I really thought Blackwell was going to take over that game against Nebraska, and then they just got smoked. No idea what happened.
Does anybody want to start this game?
I can start.
I don't really have too much to say. I mean, Villanova, just take Villanova here. It's really not going to go too much into depth with it. Wisconsin just fucking sucks. Fuck them.
I'm going Nova. Pitt, I feel like it was a good solidifying win for Villanova. Like, they should have won the game, but I feel like they also had to win the game. Brennan and Lindsay both got back on the right track after the Michigan game because they just were not good. And Caden Lewis he keeps excelling as a freshman. He's averaging almost 6 assists, which I believe is like top 40 in the nation, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Wisconsin, they're not only losing their big games, they're getting absolutely destroyed. Like Blackwell went 1-11 against Nebraska, and if that happens, the game's pretty much over. And if you look at their losses, he is scoring outside of that game, but his efficiency is just bad. But even more concerning that Wisconsin's bench has been terrible. They're like in those losses, those big games, they're pretty much non-existent. Like if you look at the box scores, there's so many zeros next to people's names. I like Villanova here.
Man, this is tough. For me personally, this is tough. I know it's not technically home, but it is in Milwaukee. I don't know. It doesn't feel like Villanova's always that great of a team on the road. I don't know if I have it in my heart to pick them, but you know what? Yeah, I'm going to take Wisconsin here. I don't know. I don't really have a reason for it. I'm just going to say it's because they just got blown out and they're going to need a turnaround win. So I'm going to take Wisconsin on this one. They beat Villanova. I don't think Villanova's a bad team, but I just don't like them. It's technically it's not technically home, but it's pretty far and it's close for Wisconsin. So I'll take the Baptists.
Yeah. There we go. On our next game, FAU and St. Mary's. It's at SMU, St. Mary's and FAU. It's St. Mary's. I would say they're definitely going to win this game, but the Mikey Lewis situation is very interesting. He got 9 points in their loss 9 minutes in their loss against Boise State, which is huge because he's been a bucket, and people are saying he has an ankle injury and his foot flared up. And he's one of their best players. He's great from three. Like, that's such a huge development. Morauskas, he looks like he's heading for first team All West Coast Conference nomination. And McKeever, he had his worst game of the year against Boise State, but I think he'll bounce back. FAU, they've been stacking up points, but it's been against bad teams. They lost to two good A-10 teams, St. Bonnie's and George Mason, in close games. St. Mary's is the better team, though, and I say even without Mikey Lewis, they're going to beat FAU at home.
Yeah, I'm with you. I know St. Mary's is coming off a tough loss against Boise, but I like the St. Mary's team. I was higher on them a little bit earlier in the year. I know since then it's kind of, with Boise State and Vanderbilt, but I think they'll beat FAU, and I think they'll beat them pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, I agree here. I don't really like FAU. I think they're kind of shit. They haven't really played anybody, and when they do, they lose. I mean, I do really like St. Mary's. I think I don't know if I talked about them on here before, but I do really like the program that they have, and I like the team that they have right now. Yeah, I don't really think this game is going to be too competitive here. I think St. Mary's is going to win this pretty easily.
Next up is two struggling teams in St. John's and Kentucky. Does anyone have any thoughts on this game first?
Logan, you want to go first?
Nah, you got it.
Listen, I've talked about my history and how much I do like St. John's. I know this is a neutral site, I believe, right?
It's the game before UNC and Ohio
it's in
State,
Georgia.
the
Okay, it's in Atlanta.
CBS Sports Classic, yeah.
I know Kentucky just got a good win, but I'm not ready to give up on the St. John's team. I love Rick Pitino. I like this St. John's team. I think they finally get a much-needed win. The same reason I backed Kentucky last time is the same reason I'm backing St. John's. I think they're going to win this game, and I have all the confidence in the world in Rick Pitino. We'll get this team rolling before Big East play.
Yeah. I'm agreeing here. I'm gonna stick with St. John's here. I still don't like this Kentucky team at all. Even after that win, it didn't look good. If you were watching the game, they were down, I believe, by like 8 or 9 at half. They came back and they pretty much dominated that second half. But then again, it's Indiana and they're just they're all right. I'm still not sold on this Kentucky team at all. And if I had to bet on St. John's turning it around here with all the talent that they have, I'd bet on them. So yeah, St. John's gets it done here.
Yeah, St. John's, their scoring option, they're like Bryce Hopkins, he's slowed down a lot, and Sannon has emerged as the number 2 guy behind Ejiofor. They have a lot of guys that need someone to step up, and that's not happening right now. Kentucky's offense looks the worst that I've pretty much ever seen it. Jelon Lowe, he's going to get back into motion, but it's a matter of when. The shooting is just terrible, and if I'm going to trust, it's two terrible teams in the moment. If I'm going to trust anyone, it's Rick Pitino, so I'm going St. John's as well.
Yeah, I also wanted to add the 2 guys I'm really looking at for St. John's, specifically in this game. Number 1 is Rosiah Sellers. He needs to have a good game, or at least a halfway decent game. Against Iowa State when they lost by 1 point, he had 20 points that game. And then when they got beat by double digits against Auburn, he only has 4. So I'm definitely looking at him. And then I'm also looking at Ian Jackson. He's kind of been in the news lately because of a haircut.
Yeah.
And maybe that gets some traction or something because he got a haircut. He starts playing a little better. His last 2 games have been good, so I'm looking for him to keep that going.
There we go.
I can start this game off if you want. I think both these teams are pretty underrated. I like both of these teams so far. I like the way that they've been playing. But with here, Utah State, I think last year they made me so much last year on betting on them. They're just, I don't know why they're just such a wagon. But I'll probably just stick with Utah State here. I think it's going to be a competitive game. I don't see Utah State really pulling away. I think it's going to be more of a back and forth battle with both these teams being pretty good. I mean, they match up very well. So go Utah State here.
I'll go next. Yeah, I'm with Logan here. I love this Utah State team. Their stadium is always rocking too. That place is going to be loud. I might be out on the ledge here. I don't think it's too crazy, but I think they're probably the second best mid-major behind St. Louis. I think it's St. Louis 1 and then Utah State 2. Tough game against South Florida, but I think they win this game. I think it'll be a great game, but I do think Utah State gets it done here. Not to knock Colorado State. I think they're a good team. I think Utah State's probably just going to be a little too much to handle there.
Yeah, this is an incredible opening Mountain West game.
Mm-hmm.
Utah State, like you said, Utah State's environment is absolutely amazing. It's top 3 mid-major, I would say, just off the top of my head, at least. With that being said, Colorado State is going to go in there and take this ball game. They are shooting 45% from deep right now, and their 2 losses are close games. They've been playing extremely well. Their top 6 scorers are all shooting above 39% from 3, and 5 of them are like in the 40s at least. Colorado State just looks awesome, and it's such a commodity to have that many guys who can shoot because you're not totally relying on 1 or 2 guys. One guy I like to point out is Kerry Booth. He has been around power conference teams, started out at Notre Dame, went to Illinois, and now he's at Colorado State, and it seems like he found his groove, which I'm happy for him, like watching him on these big teams. Utah State, they've had a lot of tight games recently. They barely escaped versus Illinois State. They lost against USF. They barely beat Montana State. They're a good team, but I think they are struggling right now, and they haven't looked totally convincing in their wins. MJ Collins is an absolute beast, so Colorado State is going to have to contain him. With that being said, I think Colorado State wins this game and makes a statement in the Mountain West. Gavin, do you want to talk about your team, or do you want me to start?
You can start it. I'll close it.
All right. I like UNC here. Ohio State, like, they're a solid power conference team, but I'm not huge on them. UNC's front court is going to determine this game. It's one of the best front courts in the nation, without a question. Them and Duke are the top 2 in the ACC, and I would say both top 4 in the nation front courts. But the concern here is Bruce Thornton, because UNC struggles against these good guards. Like, Fears went crazy for Michigan State against UNC. They're going to have to limit the damage they take from Ohio State's backcourt and really just manage the game through their front court, like play it through Caleb Wilson, play through Henry Visar, who Visar has been absolutely phenomenal this year, one of the top portal pickups without question. So if they can just keep playing their game and play through their bigs and have their guards just make their shots, like Derek Dixon has been a great guy off the bench, and I'm predicting that he's going to take Kyan Evans' spot fairly soon. And I also like Jonathan Powell. He is a great shooter off the bench. So if those guys just do what they have been doing and they play through their front court, I don't see why UNC loses this game. And if they want to be where they want to be in March, like a top 3-4 seed, they're going to have to win this game.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is going to be, to me, this just seems like a very typical UNC win here. They probably keep it close, probably losing at half, and then they end up pulling away in the second, and they end up winning the game. That just seems like the story of how UNC is. I mean, they pretty much. I mean, probably look back at a lot of the game logs, and it probably looks the same in their wins. They lose the first half, and then they just come out in the second and they look great. And I see that happening here. I'm not really too high on this Ohio State team. I think they should be. I mean, like some of the games, just looking at the game log, it just doesn't look great, especially that loss to Pitt. It's still in the back of my mind. So going UNC here.
Yeah, obviously I'm taking North Carolina here. I think it's without a doubt. I think just being a Carolina fan, this feels like a must-win game because I know Logan said it's a typical Carolina win spot. This, to me, feels like the most typical North Carolina loss spot. People kind of call them overrated. This is Ohio State's toughest game they've played so far. I would say without it. Oh, I'm sorry. Illinois is better, but this is one of their toughest games they played all year. Carolina, this is also probably going to be one of their tougher games they play. They've played to this point. But yeah, I think the Carolina front court is going to give Ohio State nightmares. Danny mentioned Visar, one of the best portal pickups. I mean, I don't know how long for Carolina. I mean, beside Brady Manick, this was huge for North Carolina. They needed a big man. Everybody was kind of clowning them when they couldn't get one, and they ended up stumbling on a Visar, and he's been awesome. And Caleb Wilson has also been awesome. Jonathan Powell had a great game against South Carolina upstate. He shot the lights out and then came out against ETSU and couldn't hit the side of a barn, which kind of sucks because it looked like he might have had a little stride, but ended up faltering. Bruce Thornton does give me nightmares. I know Danny mentioned him as well. But I think Carolina wins this game and kind of solidifies themselves as like they might be back a little bit. So I'm looking for them to win this game and hopefully dominate, but definitely win.
Yeah, judging on past like UNC games, I think UNC either loses or they win this game by double digits.
Yeah, I was gonna that's what I was meant to say was Carolina's gonna lose this game by 2 points or they're gonna win this game by 15. There's not really much of an impact.
And I might bet on UNC second half spread. Like
it's kind of a gimme. It's kind of a gimme at this point.
Yeah, so we'll see. Northwestern and Butler. This
I
believe, Danny, I want to say you were higher than most on both of these two teams. Would I be wrong? I feel like you've been talking a lot about Butler, and then in the beginning of the year, you were talking a lot. Northwestern's fallen off a cliff, but in the beginning of the year, I thought you liked them a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't hate him. I'm definitely high on Martinelli, which he's great. I don't know. It just feels like Northwestern loses every big game they're in. Like, I don't know who I'm picking to win right now.
Finley Bizjack is him. Give me Butler. That's all I gotta say.
Finley Bizjack is him. Give me Butler.
Yep.
I'll just fade you for the hell of it. I love Finley Bizjack. I mean, I probably think Butler's gonna win, but I'll fade. Why not?
Yeah. That game sucked, by the way. Oh my gosh.
What?
The Butler game. What a terrible game.
Houston and Arkansas back to
Jesus.
It's Arkansas's rolling right now. Like they look really good. And Houston, they are 10-1, and I feel like people are kind of writing them off a bit, which is kind of stupid. I think they started the year off 4-3 or 3-2 last year, and then
why the hell is this game in Jersey?
This game
is in New Jersey.
Yeah, it's in Seton Hall's arena, Prudential.
You know what? I'll really get this underway. Danny's right. Arkansas has been rolling. Train stops here. Houston is going to shut these guys down. I like Houston. They haven't been good all year. They have not looked impressive whatsoever all year. They've honestly been – it feels like a disappointment even though they're 10-1. But I think they are going to give Arkansas hell defensively. I don't expect them to score a bunch of points, but I think they will win this game, and I think they'll stop an Arkansas team that is hot right now. I know it's stupid to fade the hot team, but I'm gonna just take my chances and trust Kelvin Sampson.
Logan, you had success in picking Arkansas recently. You continue with that?
At this point, I feel like I have to. Whatever Trayvon Brazil's got going on in the locker room, it's working. It's working for the boys. It's working for the Gazorbacks. You know how it is. You know.
Wait, look.
Give me, yeah. I mean, I feel like I got to keep rolling with Arkansas. You know, they do look great. I could definitely see Houston making a statement win here, and so I'm not ruling that off, but I'm gonna stick with Arkansas here.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Houston. I think their offense has looked better these past few days. I love Kingston Flemings. He's so good, man. He is awesome, and like Houston eliminated my team last year, so I thought they might have like having to start like a freshman, it might go downhill, but Flemings is really good. He's going to be a one and done, and I also think Sinak is starting to be better on offense than you have Emmanuel Sharp and Uzan. Houston's just such a tough team to play when you have so many young guys like Acuff and Malik Thomas.
Yeah.
DJ Wagner has not been very good this year. So, I mean, I'm not counting that as a total positive to outweigh the freshman negatives, but I think Houston, they need a win to get back into the national conversation, and I'm going to say they get it done here. And it's going to be a really good game. I say the score is like 76 to 74 ish. I would say it's around that.
You think they get to 70? I don't think they get there.
They might not even sniff 60.
Their offense, Arkansas's offense is good, man. But yeah, I'm gonna go Houston as well.
Ooh.
Next we have Auburn and Purdue, which is a fun matchup.
This is a fun matchup.
Who
wants to kick it off?
I mean, I guess. Yeah, I mean, so far, Purdue, they've looked amazing so far, other than that one loss to Iowa State. But, Iowa State, they've pretty much, they've looked great the whole entire year. Even with the injuries. Auburn, I want to say, listen, they haven't looked like Auburn, but they still looked pretty good. But, is this Purdue at home? At their home stadium?
No, technically no, but it's in Indiana.
All right, so I'm still rolling with Purdue here. I think Braden Smith is goated, and he's about to drop a 30 burger on Auburn.
Yeah, I'll go next. Purdue, they bounced back really well, given it wasn't against amazing teams, but they beat Minnesota by almost 30. They beat Marquette by 20. Should they have done that? Probably. But it was just a really good response to that Iowa State game. Auburn, they have some good wins against NC State and St. John's, but now looking at it, it looks worse than what it was in the moment. Like NC State and St. John's are both struggling a lot. And then in Auburn's big games against like Michigan and Arizona, they got destroyed. So they've kind of proven that they can't hang with those big teams. So I'm gonna go Purdue, and I'll probably take their spread on game day.
Yeah, I expect this game to go similar to the Arizona-Michigan games for Auburn. I think this Purdue offense is just flat out going to give Auburn fits. They're extremely efficient, and when TKR is on, you quite literally can't stop them. In Iowa State, he was off, and Iowa State beat the brakes off of them. So I expect Purdue to win this game the same way Arizona and Michigan beat Auburn by a good margin.
Xavier and Georgetown.
I'm not.
We can do this. We can do this quick. Xavier, this would have been a better game if Xavier wasn't getting beat by 30.
They're getting their dicks kicked
update at that game. What is
Delaware got to stop? They just picked them off on 4th and 1. Let's fucking go.
All right, so I think the game did the game end?
Which one?
So the game ended 98-50. Oh my gosh, 98-57 Creighton. I'm going Georgetown. Anyone else? Gavin hates Georgetown though.
No, I don't. I don't hate Georgetown.
They suck.
They do. I'm taking Georgetown.
Yeah, they do suck. They literally just went to OT with St. Peter's. So
yeah, well, Xavier just got fucking just bent. Just and bent over. Georgetown gets a win. They're 2-3 in the last 5. They're gonna get another win here. In DC. Roll.
Yeah. Give me Georgetown, whatever. And move on.
Duke, Texas, and MSG Saturday. I will be in attendance.
That's awesome.
Can't.
Who are you going with? Pops?
Yeah, my dad and my uncle.
Yeah. Danny, do you want to go last?
We usually go last for our own team, so.
All right.
You start, Logan.
Yeah, why not? Texas Tech, they don't look good at all. Texas Tech looks like shit. Even though Toppin is goated. Duke, them. They get the Duke whistle every single game. They're going to get bounced eventually. Elite 8, Final 4, doesn't matter. I'm not really too worried about this Duke team. But Yeah, they get it done against Texas Tech pretty easily, but fuck Duke. So yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Nah, I'm just kidding. My panic meter's at a 10 for Texas Tech, similar to how it was for Kentucky when I picked them last week. And I think I'm going to keep panicking. Duke is going to. Is this not Cameron North?
It is.
Yeah. Duke. This is basically going to be like a home game for Duke. I expect them to beat the brakes off of Texas Tech. I think the spread is at 8, and I expect it to get up to like 11 or something crazy, which is nuts. You didn't think we'd be saying this kind of far, this big spread against
Like
Texas Tech.
when I knew I was going to this game, I thought it was gonna be like 3 versus 5, like absolute.
Like you could I'm not to jinx it, but like you thought like there's a chance Duke loses. I don't see a
50-50
world where
game.
Duke loses. Texas Tech is just. I mean, I don't know what the fuck happened. So yeah, give me Duke.
Duke might actually.
Yeah, I think Duke's gonna win as well. They had a typical Duke after like finals week type of game versus Lipscomb. In the first half, they looked absolutely terrible. The second half, they did their thing finally. Texas Tech, I think my panic meter is around one factor, and it's how if Lawan Watts stays being able to score. Like he just put up 36 against Northern Colorado. Like Northern Colorado is a solid team, but they're gonna need Lawan Watts if they're gonna do anything. Like it can't just be the JT Toppin and Christian Anderson show, which amazing duo, but they're gonna need more outside of that. And then another thing for Texas Tech, their depth is scarily shallow. The only person on the bench that really gets minutes is Jalen Petty, and as a matter of fact, he's the only guy off the bench who got any run against Arkansas. They played 6 guys in that game, which is incredible. And against Duke, you need depth to beat them. Like they're one of the faster teams in the nation. They're going to get running, and then their defense is like they describe it as like a boa constrictor. Like they're not going to get many steals and like turnovers, but they just kind of wear you down and don't let you get any good shots. And it's going to be tough.
Who's going to be covering Toppin? Ngumba?
I would think so. Yeah, because Toppin doesn't shoot, but he just went 2 for 2 from deep.
Here's my thing. I think the thing for Duke is, Toppin's going to get his. I mean, he's going to score 20 points. He just is. I think it's just a matter of fact thing. Like he's going to score 20 points. I think it just comes down to shutting down, especially Christian Anderson, because he can have those games where he puts up fucking 26 points. I really don't even think that matters, but yeah, they need some depth. Lawan Watts. Now, if Lawan Watts goes out and puts up 36, then Duke's in trouble, of course. But
yeah,
I don't really see that happen against Duke's goal. Well, he's a forward, but I don't really see. I think Boozer would probably be on him, right, Watts?
I would think so.
Yeah, I mean he's the only forward, so yeah, I would say. But either way,
they could do 2 things. It depends who they start as well, because if Dame Sarr's starting, he's the best perimeter defender. So you'll either have him on Watts or Atwell, because Atwell I feel like is another huge guy. Like if he gets going from, you have to shut him down from deep, which kind of goes into the next point of I'm more scared about Christian Anderson creating like his assist total, because you have to stay on him. Caleb Foster's gonna have, or you might have to put Dame Sarr on Anderson then, but like you can't let him get in the paint and get by you. You need to keep him in front. But this is the biggest test for Toppin. Like it's the best front court he's going to go against all year. So, and Texas Tech's struggling right now, so I'm going to go Duke.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Duke has a very good, or Purdue has a good front court too. I don't know. That's a close one.
Yeah. They did play Purdue.
For me personally, I'm
not sure. Well, two of the top 4 front courts in the nation.
Yeah, he didn't do well against Purdue, so we'll see.
And they got destroyed. So
yeah,
we'll see. If Duke can play Duke basketball, not what they played against Lipscomb, they should take this game. Vandy and Wake Forest. Vandy was also one of our favorite teams, I feel, and now they're kind of doing typical Vandy right now, and they're up by 1 versus Memphis with a minute left.
What the fuck?
Bad.
Touchdown Delaware, let's freaking go.
I hope none of you guys bet on that game in Vandy's favor.
No, I think I was.
Logan and I talked about it, but we didn't.
Yeah, we both agreed that it was like a weird, like they should be favored by like 13, so it was like a trap.
Yeah.
Who wants
I mean,
to
this game.
Go ahead, Danny. You got it.
All right. The issue is that if this game was anywhere else, I would say Vandy's going to win, but it's in Wake, which they're struggling in Memphis right now, and then go back-to-back road environments. And Wake gets up for big games. Wake just has not been very convincing, though. Like, they got destroyed. Just when we thought they were, like, here, they got destroyed against Oklahoma at home, and they barely beat West Virginia. Vandy, at least I can hang my hat on them destroying St. Mary's, destroying SMU. I'm going to take this game as a fluke game, like a rivalry game, because both teams are in Tennessee, Vandy, and Memphis. So I'm going to chalk it up to that. And if the spread is as high as I think it may be.
What do you think it is, Danny? I have a little prediction thing right here.
7 for Vandy. I'm thinking like
7. I was gonna say 6.5.
Less? 4. Wow, that's.
And that's gonna go down after tonight.
So Danny, who are you on? Vandy?
I'm gonna take Vandy to win. Their offense is amazing. Their coach is awesome.
Damn, that's tough. I mean, yeah, I guess. I mean, after this game's over with Vandy and Memphis, they'll both have 2 very close games with Memphis. Wake won 69-68 earlier, and I don't know. I mean, like I'm looking, but I want to say like Wake only lost by 1 in OT to Michigan, and they only lost by 1 to Texas Tech. But now we know Texas Tech is just they don't look that great. And Michigan, that was early Michigan. Now they're a completely different beast. I'm still taking Vanderbilt here. I'll ride it until the wheels fall off. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Vanderbilt here. That's just like
yeah, I'm gonna fade you guys. I'm gonna be on Wake here at home. Much needed win. I mean, I think it's as simple as that. That's kind of what a lot of December is. It's just a lot of much needed wins for bubble teams or teams that are expecting more out of them. Vandy should just flat out. I don't know how else to put it. I don't think they're an 11-0 team. Well, if they beat Memphis, they're not an undefeated team. And if they are undefeated coming into this and end up pulling this game out against Memphis, I'm going to take Wake Forest to beat them.
In our last college basketball game on Monday, we have Missouri and Illinois in St. Louis, Missouri. Does anyone want to start this?
Why don't you start?
All right. Missouri, they're 10-2, but they lost by 20 to Kansas and lost by 5 to Notre Dame. They did, and then they barely beat Alabama State. I think they're a better team than what they're putting on the court in the moment. Illinois, they just lost by 3 to Nebraska, as we said earlier. But I'm taking a 3-point loss to Nebraska over the other ones. I like Illinois, just like you guys, and I think they get a good bounce-back win from Nebraska and beat Mizzou.
I don't really have too much to add there. I think Danny said that perfectly. Illinois, this is a bounce-back win, really, at home. Are they at home? Because sometimes these guys are like
no, St. Louis, Missouri.
Yeah, like how often are they actually at home? I feel like whenever I'm like, oh, are they at home, and they're never at home. Going Illinois here. Really what Danny said. Just stick to that. Illinois wins this game.
Yeah, I'm on Illinois too. Same exact reasoning. Big bounce back spot for them, and I don't think Missouri's all that good.
Yeah.